Hey everybody, this is D Hunter, bringing another action figure review. Today, we're going to look at the NECA Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles movie Farmhouse Casey Jones and April O'Neil 2-pack. I believe this is a Walmart exclusive. It looks like NECA and Walmart has done a pretty good job organizing and releasing the April 2-pack and single figure in the month of April. I cannot imagine that was a sheer coincidence. I've been seeing reports of this thing popping up since about March 29th. Shout out to my boy Corey for finding this for me at a Walmart store. Funny thing is, I saw 5 of them at a Walmart today. Looks like we have Casey Jones in sweatpants and wife beater, bunch of accessories, April in her skirt, the shirt she wore at the farmhouse, and also a bunch of accessories. I see some repeat stuff from the accessory pack and a bunch of new stuff. So let's go and check out the packaging. As you can see, Nickelodeon, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, Casey Jones, April O'Neil, and the Turtles. Here they are in the package with a ton of accessories. One side, we've got Casey. Other side, we have April. At the bottom, got a bunch of credits, and there is a barcode, in case that helps anybody. On the back side, we've got the 2 figures in a bunch of different various poses. It almost looks like stills from the movie back there. And of course the Turtles. This is going to be the 3rd release of Casey Jones and the 2nd release of April. Unless you count the rare signed edition with the raincoat. If you count that, this will be the 3rd release of April. So with no further ado, let's open them up. Alright, now that we've got these figures out of the package, here they are with all their accessories laid out. They come with quite a bit of stuff. Casey Jones has his hockey mask, 2 alternate heads, one with the mask on, one with the mask off, 4 interchangeable hands, totaling 6 hands. He has a wrench, a hammer, and some binoculars. They also come with a thing of turtle wax and a thing of turtle aid, and 1 display stand. April comes with 1 alternate head, 3 pencils, 2 drawings of the turtles, and a total of 5 interchangeable hands and Leo's sword. Both these figures look really cool. Kind of obscure figures to make from the film, but this is right up my alley. I love regular civilian type action figures, and I really like this Turtles movie. These guys are a Walmart exclusive. I found these at 3 or 4 different Walmart stores. Seems like they did a really good job getting them out for the month of April. In this video, we'll take a look at each of the figures individually. We'll check out their accessories, height, and articulation. We'll compare them with some other Casey Jones and April Turtle figures, a bunch of other Turtle figures from both the movies and the cartoons, and later, with a bunch of action figures from different various companies. So, let's go and start off with April, because she's the one I'm looking forward to the most of these 2. Before we look at April, I want to look at the accessories that are not character specific for either one of these guys. So first of all, we have the display stand. Pretty boring. It's got a circle, 1 peg hole, flat and basic. Truly confused why we would get 1 display stand in a 2-pack. And then we have this bottle of turtle wax. I remember one of the turtles came in, sort of rubbing his shoulder like it was hurt. April offered him ointment, but he decided to pull out the turtle wax instead. Then we have this turtle aid, kind of like Gatorade, I guess. I don't actually remember this in the film. This is the only accessory that I'm drawing a blank to. Kind of cool. We also have Leo's sword. Of course, Leonardo's not in this pack. We've got the blade, sculpted detail on the handle. I do remember Casey Jones using this at one point to cut some vegetables. So this is April O'Neil from the first Turtle film. She's played by Judith Hoag. This is the 2nd figure of her they've made. Of course, in the 2nd film, she didn't reprise her role. They had replaced the actress. She comes with a ton of accessories and looks pretty good. So let's take a look. I think the face looks good. The likeness is there. Something is just a little bit off. Something about the eyes or the forehead. Hair looks good. Sort of 80s style. You can see the sculpting is excellent there. She got the shirt tied off at the waist. Looks very nice. She had a couple different outfits at the farm. She got that black skirt on. Now her legs, they didn't make her knees look all weird like the first April, so that's good. Of course, you couldn't just swap these onto the other one, as the other one I think had tights or something. Black shoes, single jointed knees, single jointed elbow. Overall, good looking figure, nice addition to the turtle collection, and nice civilian for my overall action figure world. Just the forehead is a little bit off, a little too big. And just a closer look at her face and head sculpt. And then, here's the figure broken down as far as she can go, with all of her removable parts detached. Now let's take a look at her accessories, and she has quite a bit of stuff. 2 heads, 5 hands, 2 drawings, and 3 pencils. Let's take a look at her hands. She has a total of 5 of them, 3 right hands, 2 left hands. One interesting thing to note, they paid good attention to the detail. She's got this ring on her thumb on the right hand. I like the little details like that. Here she is with her first pair of hands. These are her gripping hands. And here, with her second pair of hands, these are some open hands. They would look pretty good, relaxed at her sides. And she came with one additional right hand. This is a special kind of gripping hand that'll be able to grip the pencil. One thing I want to point out, she doesn't have the ring on this thumb. When I first opened this, I thought that was really stupid of NECA, but then I went and checked the movie, and in that scene where she's drawing the sketches of the turtle, she's not wearing the ring. So really good catch there, NECA. Here are the sketches of the turtles. The one on the left is Donatello in the pickup truck. The one on the right is Leonardo sleeping in a chair, keeping an eye on Raph. They're just simply on a piece of paper. Nothing too special there, but cool and movie accurate. Here are the pencils. These things are extremely small. If you drop them in the carpet, you'll probably never see it again. Notice the detail, the lead at the bottom point there. Pretty a nice job, NECA. Now she holds this pencil very well, but the figure, she can't sit because of the way her skirt is designed, so you'll never be able to actually sit her down at a table drawing the sketch of the turtles. I thought to myself, there are 4 different things I can use with these pencils. I was really excited to see these pencils in this thing, and that may seem odd to you, but I can find a ton of uses for these pencils. I've been just waiting for a pencil accessory for a long time. Here's April, use a pencil drawing a sketch of the turtle. Here's a custom version of the eraser I made many years ago. The eraser is an old school hokey bat villain. His gimmick is, he looks like a giant pencil. Here he is holding the pencil. Perfect accessory for him. And of course, a Heath Ledger Joker from The Dark Knight. You want to see a magic trick? I'm going to make this pencil disappear. And then John Wick here. It was said in the film that John Wick could even kill somebody with a pencil. Now that we've taken a pretty good look at both the figure and her accessories, now let's check out her height. From bottom to the top of her head, standing at about 6.9 inches tall, which can translate to about 17.5 centimeters. Now let's look at her articulation. Start with her head here. Of course, it can rotate from side to side. The hair can go over her shoulders. She can look up about that far, down about that far. The hair's soft, so it's not going to force her to look down, which I really appreciate. She can tilt her head from one side to the other, giving her a good amount of personality. Shoulders on a ball joint. Goes up about 90 degrees, up, down, around, all that good stuff. No bicep cut. Single jointed elbow, goes in 90 degrees, maybe a hair more. It does have rotation in the elbow. Her wrist can rotate, and it's going to be hinged. Her torso is going to be one solid piece, got a ball joint in the waist, rotate, go forward and back. Her legs go out about this far, restricted by the skirt. Go forward just a tiny bit, back not too much. Single jointed knees go back about that far. There is rotation as well. Then her foot here goes forward and back. It can tilt and rock. Here's the Farmhouse April, next to the standard version of April O'Neil. I really do like the Farmhouse version, and she'll be a great civilian character for me. But if I had to pick just one April O'Neil, it would be the standard version. Here's this Farmhouse April, next to the NECA Catwoman April O'Neil from the animated series. I do wish I had a regular April from the animated line. So here's Casey Jones. Casey Jones is wearing sweatpants. He's got a white beater on, a little bit dirty. Casey Jones is played by Elias Koteas. Now for the longest time, they couldn't use his likeness, so the first version of Casey Jones had the mask on. Then eventually he signed over and they made a separate Single version of Casey Jones, the head removable mask. Well, not exactly removable mask, but alternate heads. And now we have this Farmhouse Casey Jones, the third version. He comes with plenty of accessories, and honestly, I think he looks really cool. I like civilian, regular type characters, and that's exactly what this guy is. He looks like a slob. He looks like he's going to sit on the couch drinking beer all day watching TV. So let's take a look at him. The likeness is pretty good on the face there. Hair flowing down the sides. I mean, they did an excellent job capturing Casey's likeness for the film, if you ask me. He's got his white beater on, wrinkles, a little bit dirty, single jointed elbows, single jointed knees. Sweatpants looks pretty good. Now, I'm really curious what's underneath here. I feel like the wife beater is a completely separate piece. I wonder if it's a fully sculpted body or not under there, but I'm definitely not going to be taking that off. Wonder if anybody else is going to. Be very curious. Black sneakers there. You see some white socks. Like I said, I really like regular figures. I really like this 90s Turtles movie. 2 thumbs up. And just a closer look at his head and face sculpt. Like I said before, I think they nailed it on his likeness. Now let's take a look at his accessories, and he comes with quite a bit. Hammer, wrench, mask, 2 heads, 6 hands, and some binoculars. Let's start off by looking at his hands. He has a total of 6 of them. Here he is with his first pair of hands. These are his fists. And here's his second pair of hands. These are his gripping hands. And here's his third pair of hands. These are some open hands. They would be nice, relaxed at his sides. Now let's look at his heads. He has 2 of them, one unmasked, and one with a hockey mask on. I don't really think he needed to come with a hockey mask head, as he definitely didn't wear that at all on the farm. Here he is with the unmasked head. I think that likeness is excellent. And here's his head with the hockey mask. Normally I would prefer this head for Casey Jones, but on this version, he should be unmasked. Then we have his hockey mask. I kind of wish it was removable from his unmasked head, but that stuff usually ends up looking pretty bad. The mask itself is cool. You can see the straps where it would attach to him. Here's Casey Jones in his apartment. He has the mask hanging on the wall, just waiting to put it on. Here are his binoculars. I don't actually think Casey used the binoculars at all in the farmhouse. I think it was earlier in the film when he was on the rooftop and he was watching Raphael. Binoculars look pretty good, pretty much all black. I can find a ton of uses for these binoculars in my action figure world. Here's Casey holding the binoculars. A little bit hard to get into a position where you can look out of them properly. This is about the closest you're going to get. He also comes with both a hammer and a wrench. I can find a ton of uses for these things. Technically, I believe April's actually holding on to the hammer in the film as she was walking around, but I'm still going to lump that with Casey. Think of this wrench. Very small, but it looks really good. He doesn't really have the right kind of hand to hold the hammer. Very loose in his hands. And the wrench is even worse. This thing does not stay in his hand at all. This is the best you can do. Maybe those 2 accessories are intended for April. I just remember Casey working on the truck with Donatello. Now they've taken a pretty good look at both the figure and his accessories. Now let's check out his height. From bottom to the top of his head, he's standing at about 7.1 inches tall, which is going to translate to about 18 centimeters. Now let's check out his articulation. Start with his head here. Of course, you can rotate from side to side. You can look up about that far, down about that far. Not too bad. Can tilt his head from one side to the other. Give him good amount of personality. Shoulders, ball joint, slightly less than 90 degrees. Up, down, around, all that good stuff. No bicep cut. Single jointed elbows going a little bit more than 90 degrees with rotation. Wrists, rotate, and it's going to be hinged as well. His torso seems to be one solid piece. Ball joint the waist, rotate around, go forward and back. You can kind of see his stomach under there. Really curious what's underneath this thing. Legs. Does the splits pretty nicely. Ball joints. Can rotate independently of the ball. Forward about that far. Back about that much. Single jointed knees. 90-degree bend with rotation. Then his ankle here. Forward and back. Hidden nicely under the shoe. Tilt rock. And here are all 3 versions of Casey Jones that NECA has made. We have the original with the 2-pack with Raphael in disguise, then the unmasked version, and now the Farmhouse version. I betcha eventually they're going to make a Casey Jones on the foot soldier body with a Casey Jones head. And if you wanted to know what Casey Jones' unmasked head on a foot soldier body looks like, here it is. Here's Casey Jones and April O'Neil in front of the farmhouse. Here's Casey rubbing April's shoulders. Of course, April's in the wrong attire for this scene. Here's Casey Jones sitting on the couch in his sweatpants, drinking beer and watching TV all day. Now let's check these guys out next to some other action figures, starting off with some other Ninja Turtle figures. Here are all my Casey Jones and April O'Neil movie figures. I do wish one of my April O'Neils was the one with the yellow raincoat, but alas, I guess it wasn't meant to be. Here's Casey and April next to all 4 turtles from the movie. Then, next to the Danny figure. And here, with Splinter. Here they are, next to both Shredder and a foot soldier. And I do have 8 of these movie foot soldiers. Made my own Foot Clan. Here are all the different characters they've made from the first Turtles film. Really the only one missing is Tatsu, and NECA's flat out said they're unable to make a Tatsu figure. I mean, me personally, I'd buy Danny's father, the chief of police, but there's no way they're going to make those guys. They've really done every character that they need to from the first film, and the collection is absolutely fantastic. Here are all the different figures I have from the first film. I believe I have absolutely every single one and every single variation, with the exception of the Ghost or Mirage Splinter. Didn't feel like I needed him. Here they are, next to Toka and Razor from Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles 2, The Secret of the Ooze. Then, with all 3 variations of the Super Shredder. And speaking of Ninja Turtles 2, I do hope they give us a version of April from that film, although I definitely prefer the first film's April. And here they are, next to the animated Bebop and Rocksteady. Then, next to some of April's animated news co-workers. And finally, here they are, next to the Batman vs. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles animated turtle set. Now let's check them out, next to some action figures from different various companies, to see how they fit in, both scale and style-wise, in case you want to know which lines you can mix them with. Since they're NECA figures, they're typically the 7-inch scale. I'm going to start off my comparisons with some of the larger action figure lines I collect, and we're way smaller, but we're going to start off by comparing them with some of their NECA brothers and sisters. In front of you are 5 different action figure lines, all from NECA Toys, all 7-inch scale. Then, next to some more NECA figures. And now, with some Jack-specific wrestling figures. And here they are, next to some DST or Diamond Select toys. Then, with some McFarlane toys. And here they are, next to some DC Direct and DC Collectibles figures. Then, next to some Mattel wrestling figures. And now, with some Jazzwares AEW wrestlers. And here they are, next to some Mezco 112 collective figures. Then, next to some Mattel DC Universe Classics and Multiverse figures. And here, with some Mafex figures. Then, with some Hasbro Marvel Legends. And here they are, next to some SH Figure Arts action figures. And finally, next to some Jazzwares Fortnite figures. Overall, it's a very nice action figure set. I would say it's not necessary for your Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle movie collection, but I really do like the pack. They're good figures for the source material, and they're really good figures for overall generic civilians. 2 wins for me, 2 thumbs up. Their sculpt and paint job are excellent. I don't see any issues there. Accessories are plentiful, tons of stuff. The articulation, it's pretty good. Definitely have some issues with April because of her skirt. She can't sit down. Casey could have a little bit better articulation, but overall I'm pretty pleased. If I were to rate this set, I'd give it a 7.5 out of 10. I'm definitely enjoying it quite a bit. NECA's done a great job with their movie turtle lines. So this is D Hunter. Thank you guys for watching this video. If you liked the video, press like below. If you have anything you want to say about the video, add to the comment section. If you want to see additional action figure reviews from me, press subscribe. I do appreciate when you do that. Once again, this is D Hunter. Thank you guys for watching this video, and I'll talk to you guys real soon.